Welcome, Piotr. How you doing, my friend?
Super well. Niraj,
Yeah,
thank you so much for having me. Honestly, it is a pleasure, and I'm truly grateful to be here with you.
yeah. So I'll do a little introduction of Piotr. So Piotr is someone who's been with us for a while now, like a few years now, right? 2 or 3 years,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and really made an impression on us, and ended up becoming one of our facilitators on many of our Ibiza retreats. Pretty much on like a monthly basis, and he provides like this amazing kind of twist on what we do with SOMA Breath, bringing in the movement and fitness side to it, which is really important. So, and he's also just a really amazing guy, and everyone loves him on the retreats. So, I'd love to obviously just get you to introduce yourself a little bit about what your life's like now. Now you become an instructor, and what did you do before, and how have you kind of weaved, breath work into what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So let's start with like, um, how are you using Soma Breath?
Mm. To be honest, like the minute I've got on to the course and purchased Soma Breath and became one of the instructors from level one to level two to level three and just went through all the stages, I have seen how I can incorporate not only the breathing, not only the brainwave stimulation music, not only all the techniques and modalities that you have in the program to the work that I've already been doing with the body itself. Because for me, as you mentioned, Niraj, and thank you for seeing that as well, because for me, it was so important for people, clients, myself, and everyone around me to understand that we hold on to so much in our body. The body is a soma. So the body is holding on to it all, right? All the stories, all the conditioning programs, all the past generations, traumas, it's all stored in our cells. Cells carry the wisdom of it all. So once I started to first by myself experience and experiment with Soma Breath, initially via YouTube, and then starting to really go deeper in to Soma Breath as a level one instructor, as an advanced instructor, I could see how easier it is for me to shift a lot of the beliefs and the conditioning and the programs that I had by using the breath and by using the powerful affirmation, manifestation, visualization, meditation techniques that Soma Breath delivers. So for me, it was almost like a full-on holistic plan for a well superhuman being, which I believe all of us are. You know, we spoke about this so often at the retreats, and we do, and I do believe, and I stand with you, by saying that we're all superhuman, we're all incredible, limitless beings. We just forgot, and it's time for us all, humanity, to remember. And the breath, Soma Breath, and then the movement, the somatic, the experiences, the journeys that we can all weave together allow every single participant of these modalities to see that they are truly invincible, limitless, and superhuman.
Amazing.
Mm,
Wow, that's full power. So,
absolutely.
so what about before you became an instructor? What were you doing then? Like what sort of work were you doing, and how has that kind of evolved now?
Mm. There were many chapters. I believe that everyone's life is a book, and we should have as many chapters as possible. So the
True.
main chapter that was a chapter of disconnect, that I can call it now, from a distant from a perspective, was a chapter of being in the corporate world and being high up, but also high up in a sense of I've only not only gained all the external success that people might call, from wealth to money to positions to roles, but I also gained a lot of stress, which was unmanaged. It was just unresolved. And again, because I was so disconnected from my body, from my breath, I was completely relying on my mind and how I should be, and analytically, logically going through each single day of my life. But that, unfortunately, and I do believe that the body will give us plenty of signals. The body will try to stop us constantly. But if the mind is in the driving seat of the car, the vessel that we have, the body, unfortunately, we don't listen or we ignore it. And there comes a time, I believe, and in my case, it was a moment of a massive breakdown where the body says, stop. We've given you all the possible moments of stopping, surrendering, and just letting go, but you were not listening. And it's time for you to, unfortunately, or fortunately, as I look at it right now, to go through something really big and massive. And for me, it was cancer. So for me, it was a moment in 2012 in January where I not only lost around 17 kilograms in a space of 2 weeks, and but also got the diagnosis. And that diagnosis obviously hit me hard, because it was just a moment where, as I can see it now, where the mind felt that it messed up. It truly messed up. It was not giving me exactly what I needed as a embodied being. And then throughout that year and a half of holistically healing myself with additional help from the oncology unit and with chemotherapies, I was able to see and witness how, through different modalities like body movement, strength training, workouts, tapping into the sweat, the detoxifying of the body, and really learning about it, because I became just obsessed. I became obsessed with the body and how the body works and how every single system in our body works if we just allow it to work properly. And I started to be obsessed with meditations, visualizations, and really meditating from different ways of life, to be tapping into something greater. And then it was breath work. And I tried different techniques and different modalities that are out there until I have found SOMA Breath. And that was the moment where the combination of the music and the rhythms, without having it to go into a exorcistic way of feeling the breath, not a chaotic mouth breathing effort. I just felt like all the previous techniques that I used, they were too aggressive for the body and for the mind that I was holding, especially throughout that cancer period. But SOMA Breath had this nice, peaceful, soft, and gentle way to tap into the parasympathetic nervous system, until the moment comes when you just surrender fully, boom, and there's like this, suddenly you're in samadhi. Suddenly you're in this blissful state where you're like, what is going on? And you're able to get into these states by just breathing in a relaxed, flowy, nasal mouth. And that was just the power of it all. So when I finally, after a year and a half, received the diagnosis, received the positive answer that cancer is gone, I knew that my path has to be a path and a mission of service. And using all the modalities that I've learned throughout these years, months, I really want to use them for my continuous healing, because it's a process, it's a journey, but also help others as well, to prevent them from going through really all these autoimmune diseases, chronic stress and burnouts, trying to prevent, or if you cannot prevent, at least intervene with all these different modalities that are out there, and see how every person becomes the healthiest being that they can be. So from all these chapters, I've definitely took a lot of things to bring them into this chapter of my life, where I use the SOMA Breath techniques, all of the music, all that I've learned through all the retreats and through all that is in the program, to now deliver experiences and journeys that people can really feel the transformation from within.
Amazing. I love it. I'm so glad you turned things around, like such a serious condition, and took the plunge. So it's been great to have you as part of the family. So can you tell me a little bit about your experience with the actual instructor training? How was that for you?
From the beginning, I obviously, when I decided to fully go in, because I went in for the whole program, I decided to just purchase it all at once. And initially, it was quite difficult for me to find the time, to invest the time in myself and to actually go through the program, until I finally find a switch in myself to actually start understanding how I can use all of these techniques and tools in my business, in my life, for myself, but also in the business that I already created called Am I Fit Coach, Mindful Fitness, and then with my clients. So once I started to understand my why have I purchased, which I think a lot of people quite often make a decision of purchasing it and then just leaving it to maybe one day I'll be ready, when in fact, when you have a deep connection with your why and your reason, and I do believe we all have that, you can then use all these modalities. So from level one, I have to say was actually quite a smooth journey. Level 2 was a deep journey within. I had to go through my own somatic healing and transformation and understand that before I even submit the video, I have to go through a lot of my own shit, a lot of my own dirt, and I had to really bathe myself in all the mud and all the blood that was out there, because I finally understood I think at level 2 that you cannot put a plaster over your wound. You have to go through it again and again until you see it, you witness it, and you become the awareness of it. So once I started to feel that deep connection with myself, I finally stepped into my fullest power as an advanced instructor. But from that moment on, I actually knew that it's going to be way easier, because I knew that level 3 will be all about what I already love. So all about the body and the yoga and the anaerobic and the aerobic and the functional isometric training. So I was like, this is going to be my path already, but I had to go through a lot of my own stuff. And I was blessed as well that when I was finished level 2, I decided to go on the retreat. So that was the moment where I decided to be a participant at the retreat and go all in, because I knew that as great as the program is, having an on-site, hands-on experience with Niraj himself, I knew, obviously, because that was my whole plan. I had a whole business plan as well. I was like, okay, Niraj is going to be there. This is going to be also back then you were promoting it as the last retreat because you were expecting the baby. So I remember this very vividly. I was like, this is my moment. I have to make sure that before any other retreat happens, I can be there and I can just talk about the somatics and the body and the movements and how we can actually grow SOMA Breath with all these different modalities that are out there, which obviously was so great, because I also felt so free with SOMA Breath, because you're always able to add your own stuff to the mix. So as there is obviously the concept and the template, but that template can be so nicely put together with the things that you can do. So whether you're a yoga instructor, energy healer, whatever you're doing, somatic experience, tapping, tray exercises, all of it, you can actually add to that the SOMA Breath experience. So I have to say, the retreat that I went on was a game changer. And I'm not afraid to say that it was a life-changing experience. I have witnessed a lot of, again, my own stuff coming out, but also a lot of healing and a lot of remembering and a lot of understanding happened from that. And that 8-day trip has been really a trip. A trip within has been a journey within, and has made me not only more confident in what I talk about, how I show up, but also understand that we all might feel so different and so unique, but at the same time, at the core, we're all one. And that retreat, and every single retreat, shows you really how you come into a retreat and you see initially people all from all walks of life, and you feel like you have nothing in common. I remember I was with a great friend of mine now, Nick, in one room, the firefighter from New York. And we had nothing in common until the first breathwork journey, and we had everything in common. So it was just a beautiful way to come together and feel that it's more than just a modality or a program. It's a community that is built. So yeah, from that moment onwards, level 3 transformational coaching, the 21-day awakening up until master instructor, master transformational coach, and then of course having the the amount privilege, the privilege of facilitating as well the retreats in Ibiza with the team and with yourself, Niraj. It was and it still is definitely some of my highlights of the last 2 years.
Wow, yeah, that was a very memorable retreat. I remember now. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
Ibiza, and it was a very cool group. So, so we've not known each other that long actually. That was like what, 2 years ago?
Mm. Yeah, that
It's
was
gone
two
so
years
fast.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I do feel as well, once you do what we do,
I think in
you
one retreat I got to know
yeah,
you really well. Like I felt like I'd
yeah,
known you forever in just
yes.
one retreat.
True, 100%. And then we've shared so many different, not only retreats, but also, places that we were just
Yeah,
around each other. And it felt very natural. It felt very good. And it felt like we've known each other for many, many years before.
yeah. So on the subject of retreats, you are one of the instructors who's gone out to do his own retreats and collaborated with other instructors from the our group, our
Mm.
community. So, do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Absolutely. Well, I do believe that all of us are on a mission, and it all depends what kind of use of the different ways to interact with people we want to use. So there's obviously workshops, events, one-on-one, online, in person, etc. Retreats for me is something that I'm truly passionate about, because you meet people from all walks of life. And as I mentioned before, you might feel like you have nothing in common, but you have everything in common. And the breath definitely brings us back to the body, and the breath reminds us of the life force that we all have. And there is union. And I always say now, to whoever I interact with, is stop looking for differences, start seeing the union, and the union goes by the breath. The breath unites us all. We all have the breath in common. So that kind of gives me this opportunity to do not only workshops and events, but retreats. And and as I mentioned before, in regards to the community, I feel a strong bond with the community of SOMA Breath, and a strong bond with not only every instructor, but also every wannabe instructor that is in the Facebook group, that is around. Because if you're already on this path, you quite often need a bit of support and help and guidance. And I believe we're all on this path to either hold each other's hands or just tap each other on the back and be like, come on, you got this, we got this together. And I believe in the power of collaboration and connection. So from every retreat, and this is something that I hope as many people can take, just start to network, connect, and collaborate, because the power of one is just that. It's the power of one. And you can probably go far, but by yourself, you just go that far. If you go in a duo, in a trio, in a group, you have the power. You truly have the power to have a ripple effect on communities all around the world. And I truly, truly believe that. And I have been creating retreats now under a beautiful business that is called On the Healing Journey, with my dear friend, business partner, Claudia Solis, one of the master instructors as well of SOMA Breath. And we came together again. It felt like we know each other for years. It felt like we were a soul family. And we decided to put a lot of healing modalities together to create a brand new experience for participants all around the world. So we have our first one in Mexico. Throughout the year, we'll have different places, but it's quite important to work with people that you feel not only aligned with, but that you're really feeling that you've got the power to change others' perceptions, projections, and other people's health and well-being, physical and mental. So Claudia is as I said, a dear friend of mine, and we have this brand together. And this is something that you don't know yet, Niraj. This is going to be a surprise. I have a retreat in Poland with Lara that was also at one of the retreats, and we've created. It's all already set in stone. It's in April, all in Polish. So I'm going to be really tapping into my Polish wounds and my past beliefs about myself in all the generational pain of being Polish. So I'm really willing to investigate that further, which is going to be amazing. So yeah, from every single retreat, I made sure that I kept my bridge connection with the participants. And that has shown that, people, when they show up with you and for you. They're willing to not only invest, but also be with you throughout so many different chapters of your life. So retreats definitely bond. Retreats give you a full transformation, and you see that you're not by yourself on this path. Whatever your path is, whatever your journey is, whatever your trauma might have been, it's usually the interpretation of the fact and the suffering that goes with that. But as a collective, and as you breathe together, move together, and do things together, the process definitely is easier. And you feel lighter. And I think we all have this backpack of conditioning and programs. And once we start unpacking that backpack, and my program is called Unpack Yourself. And this is the program that I bring to different events around the world as well, and to different organizations, where it's all about unpacking yourself, a journey through mindful movements and the power of your breath, where you can really start unpacking and unloading all that has been weighing you down and has been bringing you down. And it's time for you to finally remember your superpower. Yes.
Love it. I love it. Well, I didn't know being Polish had so many wounds. It was so painful.
Yeah.
I suppose it has.
It has, and I'll share with you something that I haven't shared probably with you, and haven't been vocal about. I have in the past year, but not before that. For many years, I actually wanted people to call me Peter, not to pronounce my name Piotr, because I initially wanted people just to make it easier for them, right? Peter is easier. Peter, everyone can pronounce Peter. But then I understood that there's a deeper wound behind it, and the wound was about the upbringing, the conditioning, the acceptance of the language, of myself, of the pain of my grandmothers, grandfathers. So I started to really investigate this and seeing how even the words that I used, like love, abundance, acceptance, in Polish, didn't have any meaning. And the power, I do believe that there's so much power behind words. And when I lead a meditation or a breathwork journey, and I speak and I guide in English, I'm really connected with abundance. But for example, in Polish, I've never used the word abundance. It wasn't used in my family. My mother, my father, my family, my friends, we never used abundance. We have no idea what abundance really meant. It was kind of more lack and scarcity rather than abundance. So I started to really step into my fullest power. And honestly, when I first saw your name, and then I remember as well the founder of Mind Valley's name, and I was like, if people can pronounce their names, they will learn, and they will be able to pronounce Piotr. Yeah.
People still can't pronounce my names, but it's okay.
That's true.
I forgive them. I love it. So, I mean, it's very, very cool that you've achieved so much, like since becoming an instructor, doing all these collabs and running retreats, been even flown to the States, to some very, very fancy place and hosted a retreat there by one of the participants on the retreat. So many cool things seem to have opened up for you, right? So is it possible I can ask you a little bit more about like the kind of work you're doing on a day-to-day basis, like with people you're working with in Barcelona, where you're based, different clients? Are you like doing coaching one-on-one?
I do absolutely. Of course you can. And I do different things. And the truth is, what has helped me to understand that I am able to do different things is the fact that through my human design, I'm a manifesting generator. And that has helped me a lot to understand that I will be able to put my things into different modalities, ways of working, and I'll feel very satisfied with it. So maybe even one day, if you'll see me playing the guitar, don't be surprised, because probably that's part of my journey towards whatever the destination will be. But I don't really care what the end is. The journey matters for me the most. So what I've been doing, and as you mentioned, I am based in Barcelona, but I do travel a lot with events and workshops, and I started to be a little bit selfish about my travel. So everywhere I go now, I'll make sure that I host an event. I'm just like, if I go somewhere, even on a holiday, I'm going to host an event. I'm ready, because I have noticed from all the trips that I've taken, and you mentioned as well the States. I'm flying over to South Africa in April. So throughout all these events, what I've noticed is that although we're all coming from a different background, we all have this urge in us to be reconnected with our highest power. We really want to know. We really feel like the awakening is happening, and we feel that the earth is really calling. And my mission is quite simple. It's to help humanity become more aware and healthy so that we can raise the vibration of the planet. And that's all I want to do. I really want this to be a place where communities come together and we can all breathe and move together and feel the joy in music, in nature, and in all of us, and the power of us all as a collective. So what I've been doing is hosting events here in Barcelona as well for people from different backgrounds, also from different organizations, NGOs. I attend different events where I can talk about the programs that I've created, the Unpack Yourself programs, because it's so powerful to speak to initially.
What about your program that's Six Pack Yourself?
Six pack.
Piotr has a six pack, by the way.
Six pack. I
want to do that
here. I do indeed, but also we're gonna work on this. We're gonna work on this together, Niraj. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen for all of us. All of us have already a six pack. It might just not be shown. That's the only thing.
Okay. That's my excuse.
Yeah, hold on.
Showing it off. It'll scare people.
Yeah.
It will intimidate all the guys.
But what about Buddha, right? Buddha had the belly breath of Buddha. Like we all, this is another big misconception out in the world as well. We've been told all these lies of how to look ripped, and then if you look good, you will feel good. But I teach people you have to feel good in your body to look good. It doesn't matter. It's not the other way around. We've been told this big lie that you have to look a certain way, and the certain way is not achievable. You will never achieve it. So you might just, right now understand that, what, my body, it's not a vessel. I really don't like when people say it. No, sorry. I really don't like when people say it's a temple. I really like, the body is not a temple. It's a vessel. It is a car. And once you put the right fuel in, once you use it, once you work with it, it will last long. And that is the biohack that we all have. The breath is the biohack, the water, the food, all of these things are the biohack. So I teach people in my events, workshops, speaker events, and one-on-one coaching sessions, how to become more mindful in an everyday situation, how to not be overstimulated by all that the world is throwing at us. So from workshops, events that I do here in Barcelona, I teach people through different programs, especially the Unpack Yourself program, on a one-on-one basis, how to create this internal transformation that comes from within, and then you'll be able to showcase that to the world.
That's amazing. So can you tell us some of the transformations you're seeing with people?
Well, the first and foremost transformation that happens for every single person is that they are completely shocked and they don't understand how they were unable to tap into their truest, authentic, light self, calm self, and they had the power within. And they honestly are so bedazzled and they're so shocked that just the breath can bring them back home to their body, and they can regulate their nervous system by just using the breath. So that is the initial shock. Then what happens is that they are unable to express with words what they've been through. And I love that the most, because it shows me that the words that we're using, the language that we're using, it's so limited. Some of the experiences, you can say, yes, blissful, samadhi, absolutely. But the feelings that you have, you cannot compare them to anything ever experienced. But then what is happening with every single client that I coach is that they become so calm and tranquil in their everyday life. So from business to relationships to their overall health, their relationship with money and success and wealth, everything becomes this acceptance of, I can do it all. I've been told and I believed in all the lies. So what is happening is that even if somebody contacts me and they have an intention, so we quite often work with a person's intention and the blocks that they are aware of. So I have this lifestyle questionnaire form that I make sure that everyone goes through, and it gives me all the answers to that as well. So I'm able to see what they are aware of, how far are they on their journey already, because they might already been quite aware of who they are and where they want to be and what their blocks are. And then we go deeper into a journey of somatic experiences, meditation and breathwork. And then for me, what is really important is the aftercare. So the sharing of your experience without me interpreting it. I'm not the interpreter. You know yourself what you went through, and it will come to you maybe later on the day or throughout your nighttime, etc. So the results that people are getting is from becoming calmer, stable, understanding that the mind and the body works as one, and you can actually befriend the body and the mind. That is my dog giving as well. She's here as well with us, making sure as well that the body and the mind can work together. And when the body and the mind can work together, we can actually create something so unique that you can then bring it to all the different segments of your life: business, relationship, your relationship with wealth, with your loved ones, with your family, and you truly start seeing how all your limits, they're just programs, they're just conditioning. And I use the word just on purpose, because once you start understanding that just, you can see how you can truly let go of a lot. And it's all about releasing, letting go. So I've seen people connecting deeper with the love that they have towards themselves, so then they can attract more love, because it's not about love, getting love from others. Just love yourself first, and then you can attract more. Have a deeper healing relationship with money and success, so they can keep on attracting more wealth and success. And it all comes from all the different modalities and the journeys that we are creating, especially for that person and for that event.
Wow, great insights there, Piotr.
Thank
Love
you.
it.
Thank you.
So
Thank
I think
you.
a lot of people are gonna get inspired from this. So tell me, like, if say there's an instructor who's like kind of on the fence, or a wannabe, somebody who wants to be instructor, get involved, like wants to do SOMA Breath course, like what would you say to them? Like, and what does it really take to really succeed in this game?
It definitely takes a strong why and a reason why you want to do this work. You might, and the reasons might be different for every other person. So you might want to do this for yourself. And I do believe that you should focus on yourself first and do this work and become an instructor, but actually become an instructor for yourself. So you can show yourself and teach yourself and guide yourself through all these journeys. So you see where your own limitations are and how you can share them from your truth and your story. Because I believe that everyone's story is unique and everyone's story is relatable. And people, when they start relating to you by your story, so by anything that you have gone through, all of your suffering and your pain and your traumas are somebody else's rescue. And once you start voicing that and become aware of it and become really fully embodying it, that this is me, but at the same time, this is not stopping me. This is actually my fuel. My story has been my fuel. And I can use that now with all the techniques. So become actually an instructor for yourself first. And once you have done that for yourself, you can then help so many others and guide so many others by using the tools and the channeling and by using the superpower that you have to connect with people. So I would definitely say, don't hesitate. Just ask your body why you want to do this. Don't ask your mind. Your mind will maybe try to trick you out of it, tell you that you're not ready yet, you don't have enough cash, all of these limitations. Come back to your body. Come back to your body, and maybe even place a hand on your heart, both hands on your heart. Come back to your breath that you already have, and just calm your mind. The mind initially will try to give you all these, no, don't, stop. Why would you do this? This is silly. Yeah, whatever. What does he know? Oh, I'm already this, I'm already that. I'm too old, I'm too young, I have 6 kids, all of this, right? All of the mind, chatter, mental chatter. But then this is the moment where you have to, okay, let's tap back into the body. Let's really connect with myself. I'm doing this. Why? Why should I do this? Connect with that why, and then understand that your mission is definitely greater than the one that you even have planned or even think of. And another quote that I really love and live by is, if you have a plan, God laughs. And that truly means that God is not laughing at your plan, but at maybe how small the plan is, because it has a greater plan for you. So once you start opening yourself up and start seeing all the things and all the people that you can interact with by being an instructor, by embodying it, and going to all these different, not only retreats, but also events and workshops, and being able to talk from your heart about what you've learned and gained, you will be able to succeed. But you have to connect with your why. I think this is the biggest fallback for people when they are so disconnected for the reason, and they might just do this for an initial reason, and then they kind of drop it. But once you understand that your why matters, and then you have the support of the community, and everyone has a story to share, and everyone wants to listen to your story. Everyone wants to hear what your story is, and it's not about comparison. So don't compare my story, my cancer journey, or Niraj's story with his illness, and don't compare the stories. Your story is very valid, and the world is ready to hear your story.
That's great, man. So, well, you have an amazing story for a start. That definitely
Thank
helps. So would you say that you've made your investment back in the course and then some?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I have. It was an initial shock to my, hold on, I can see my camera is slightly.
Yeah, it's got a little bit out like this.
Yeah, I'm back now. It was an initial shock to the system, the payment of the full amount to the course, because I kind of didn't know where I will use it, how I will utilize it. But I had a lot of trust in the journey, and I had a lot of trust in myself, that I knew that it is time to awaken the giant within, and I do believe that we all carry that giant, honestly. And I had this deep feeling that intuition told me that it is time. It is time. And I really love the fact that I combined that with retreat, because that was a true life-changing experience. Maybe it's time for a combo. Buy the course and retreat will be 20% off, or
Yeah.
that could be a good combination.
You could be running the transformational retreats for instructors who are going through the course. So actually, that's what I was going to say, was to give a shout out, because you're very active, Claudia, is that instructors going through training, if you want to really experience these practices in person, and you can't wait till I do a retreat because my time's limited, please go to other instructors' retreats. Go to Piotr's retreat. Go to Claudia's retreats. They do it together. There's others doing it as well.
Yeah.
You might find someone nearer to you, but there you'll really see someone else other than me taking you through a transformational experience, and then you'll see what you can actually aspire towards, and you also go through the transformation itself, because it's all of our core techniques. And you also see all the different flares and characters each instructor brings. So I highly recommend support the community by going to other instructors' retreats. That's where you really get the taste of the real magic. in person. You know, online's amazing, but in person is where the real super transformations happen. And a lot of instructors come. I was myself, before I was an instructor, when I was sick with a disease, for example, and then, there's still a lot of time after that where I needed to do a lot of inner work to get to where I am now. So I went to loads of retreats. I went to lots of different types of retreats, from tantra retreats to wellness retreats and so on, before I stepped into what I'm doing now. So the more of these experiences you can go through, the more transformational qualities and characteristics you're going to like pick up along the way, and a lot of shit you're going to clear out too that holds you back from success. And people like Piotr is super motivating, right, in a really cool, positive way, will make that process for you really fun and help you like get to become an amazing instructor. And for me, the best way I've learned is by modeling what's already successful, modeling and then making it my own style, but getting inspired, right? So yeah, so that's great. It's great to hear that you've made your investment back and some. I hope you continue to become extremely abundant, which you shall. But do you have any kind of, to wrap up, any final message?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Niraj, for that. Thank you. Thank you for being a friend as well on the journey, because I really know that I can reach out to you and, and to the team. And I really feel like, you guys listen, and that's quite important, because quite often, and it's the truth as well, whoever's listening to this, don't believe that I have it all figured out on the rush. Like, we don't. And that is the beauty of it, where we became so aware of it that nobody will ever have it figured out. And that's the beauty, that we're all kind of the blind walking the blind. And, and without putting people on pedestals, we're all incredible, beautiful beings of light and darkness. All of it is serving. If you just step into your fullest power and understand also that the investment that you make is an investment in the abundance of others investing in you. It never works. You cannot be from a scarce mentality trying to save money and then depend or feel that people should pay you if you're unable to pay. So this is the biggest kind of takeaway as well, because I see this as a general explosion that is happening around the world, where a lot of people are still obviously waking up, but they're still kind of in this state of like, should I pay for an experience? Should I pay for a retreat or a workshop? It's not a tangible cup. It's not a tangible, purse or a pair of jeans, but the value that you get, remember, price is what you pay, but the value is what you get. And the value of an experience, of a retreat, of a workshop, is something that you will never able to put in a tangible way, because what you will be experiencing is so deep that you will feel a profound connection with yourself and with your mission. And as Niraj said, please feel free to invest in yourself, to unlearn all of the conditioning and become the greatest version of yourself, because we're all waiting for you. So come to the retreats, come to the workshops, connect with me on all different platforms. Feel free to interact, because I do believe in the power of, as I said, collective, and making it all work for the greater good of humanity and the planet. And that's what I love as well, what you mentioned, Raj, and I'm glad that you see me like this, to make it in a fun way. I became this coach, this mentor, this person, because I was searching for that person in others, and I couldn't find that Piotr out there. So I created me. So I knew that my younger self, my inner child, will really be like, yeah, I want to be around you, kind of goofy, kind of weird, kind of funny, kind of crazy, kind of fun, and just using all the tools and using all of this world for the greater good. So thank you for seeing me, and thank you for watching and listening. Honestly, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Piotr. Beautiful. Well, all your credentials will be with this interview, and definitely follow Piotr on Instagram. Check out what he's doing. Go and check out his retreats. And he's also very friendly in the community. So if you need any help, if you jump on board, become an instructor yourself, or you're already one, listen to this. reach out. Always reach out. You know, there's very friendly people out there like Piotr in our community. In fact, so many,
Indeed.
which is great.
Indeed. We
my
are.
life.
We actually, yeah, we are. We love our life, and we attract.
Yes.
No wonder we attract. We're magnets. You know, your vibe attracts your tribe.
That's it. You got it. All right, bro. Much love.
Much love. Thank you, Josh.